Hello friends, welcome to Block Bytes. QuillAudits is a Web3 auditing company. Starting in 2018, today QuillAudits has secured more than 850 Web3 projects and has global presence with notable industry partners. When Preetham Rao, CEO of QuillAudits, recently posted that their crypto due diligence tool QuillCheck has identified more than 500 rug pulls tokens in a day, it piqued my interest and I wanted to find out more about it. Imagine if retail investors could have the power to know if a token being shilled to them is actually a scam coin. So I sat down with Joe's Paul, product manager at QuillAudits, to understand the basics of QuillCheck. This video is a must watch for anyone who wants to stay away from rug pulls and crypto scams. So please share this with as many people as you can and let's spread the word.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you for having me here today, Manish. Nice to teach everybody about how to stay safe in crypto,
Correct.
which is generally the motto of QuillAudits. I'm Jose Paul. I'm the product manager here at QuillAudits. We are delivering community-based security products and developer-focused security products as well. So today we'll be taking a look at our community product, which is QuillCheck. It's a due diligence application which people can use to understand whether a token is more towards the scammy nature or is it a high quality token, right? We have multiple factors we look through before we decide whether a token is more scammy or not, right? So before we go inside the application itself, I'd like to tell you one of the reasons why we had decided to tackle this, right? We are an auditing company and our focus should mostly be about auditing and building developer tools which bring security to the hands of the developer, right? But we also took this community route, especially because to enable security within the Web3 space, people can't just go through the entire smart contracts and understand what is going on. That is not possible. You need to make it possible for the users to understand things at a easier level, right? Most of the people who come to crypto, even though they are enthusiasts, they might not necessarily be very technical people.
Right.
So one of the biggest reasons why we got into this and we decided to build a product for this is if we look at the daily number of scams that are losses that happens in crypto, one of the least discussed aspect of crypto losses is scam coins.
Right.
We hear about the big mega hacks, the $100 million hacks, the $200 million hacks, the Ronin $600 million bridge hack. We hear about all of that, but on a daily basis, as an equivalent number of wallets are affected by these rug pulls that happens very often in the ecosystem. And it plagues our ecosystem and it gives our ecosystem a bad reputation as well. Like, hey, the association of crypto with scams, to reduce that, this is one of the steps that we took so that we could keep the Web3 community and ecosystem safer.
Right.
So with that, let's go into a
little demo, maybe.
a little bit of a demo here. So this is, I hope you guys can see my screen here.
Yes.
Yes, great. So we are building a due diligence tool here, as you can see, and it's very simple and easy to use. We currently support 3 specific chains: ETH, BSC, and Polygon. More are coming up.
Right.
We are building it. So how to use this application? You know that each token has a contract address. Each token is a smart contract. Each smart contract has its own address. So let's try picking up your token's address, right? For example, let's start off with something that everybody would be knowing, your USDC. So it is as simple as typing USDC token address Ethereum chain. And now since Google supports all these,
Right.
it's very easy to find the address as well. Copy
Right.
the address, paste it here. So make sure the address is correct and you get a full report here. Now let's look at what is there inside the report, right? There's a risk rating of the token. Then there's a honeypot status, whether this token is a honeypot token or not. A honeypot token is a token which can only be bought but never be sold, which means it's a scam token, right?
Okay.
There are multiple different ways in which a token could become a honeypot token or a scam token. So that is something that we try to educate our users through the code checks that are below.
Oh, lovely.
Now, we have a creator of the token, the owner of the token. A lot of these tokens have specific certain permissions which a party called as the owner has. For example, in USDC, they require to mint more tokens. So this minting functionality will be possible only through the owner of the token. So we can find the owner's address over here as well.
All right.
Now, some basic information, whether this token is listed on any centralized exchanges, what is its current supply, how many holders are there, all this information is presented here. Keep in mind that this is specific to the ETH chain.
Correct.
You pasted the contract address on ETH, so you will get the Ethereum, so you will get the information on Ethereum chain. So we can see that inside the code checks, you can see if there's a hidden owner. Some applications, some tokens, what they do is they have a owner and they can renounce the ownership. There's a function for renouncing a ownership. But the scammy people, they'll generally try to have a hidden owner inside where they'll have permissions of the actual owner. But when we look through who is the owner, that owner is a zero address, a dead address, right? And we are like, okay, there are no specific owner permissions. So we are specifically looking for if there is a hidden owner. Then you can see that the token supply is not fixed here. So one of the ways in which tokens turn into a scam is when there is unlimited token minting and the owner mints, let's say they'd say it's 100 million token supply coin and it is at $0.1 a coin. And then once everybody buys into the coin, they mint maybe 100 million more and then they just sell off all the coins.
Okay.
So that is one of the ways in which a token becomes a scam. So here with USDC, it is not a scam. It is a stable coin which requires it to mint tokens based on demand. So which is why we are flagging this for even for USDC.
Right. Because it's a check that it does anyways. Yeah.
Yes, we are showing that this is there regardless whether it is a stable coin or not.
Right.
Now, this is a mechanism which was present in the previous older ERC20 tokens. We don't see that much these days. It's a self-destruct mechanism.
Oh, wow.
Which is present inside tokens. So everybody buys into the token. Tomorrow, like a Banksy art piece, it just disappears.
Oh my goodness.
Self-destruct.
Okay.
Right. And we check if this token is open source. If it's a closed source contract, you're better off not buying into it because you never know what is inside the contract.
Well, some projects have bits that are closed source, bits that are open. How do you then deal with that scenario? I mean, mostly scam coins would not be like that. They're pretty easy or simple, I'm assuming, but just in case something like that appears.
So what happens is we generally go to Etherscan or the block explorer associated with the chain. And from there, when you're creating a coin itself, or when you're creating a contract itself, you could get the contract verified. So it will be available on the block explorer from that time on, right? So if they haven't done that, that itself is a red flag. I'm not saying that all tokens which does not have an open source.
Right. So it's basically that check that it does on the blockchain, whether the
open source
verified or not. Okay.
Yeah. So if the code is not open source, what happens? The problem is that we are not able to check for these other things. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we never know what is inside that token.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're part of a community which is developing a token, always make sure to push the developers to get the code open source.
Okay.
Then there is blacklisting. So a lot of tokens have blacklisting capabilities. It is a double-edged sword. We are not saying necessarily it is a bad thing. For certain applications it is required, but we are flagging it regardless whether it is present or not. If it is present, we'll show that it is present. If it's not present, we'll show that it's not present. So why this is the case is there are certain tokens where there is a functionality within where, let's say, a new holder comes in X number of blocks, they'll move into the blacklist, which means all users, all holders become blacklisted at some point or the other. And normally what blacklisting does to you is that you are not allowed to transfer the token any longer.
Right.
So you bought the token, it's in your wallet, but you can't do anything with it. You can't move it, you can't send it to your friend, you can't sell it in an exchange. So that becomes a scam that way, right? So we are flagging that as well. Now, tax rates. This is something that most tokens that from what we have observed, we've seen that this is one of the mechanisms in which they scam a community, scam the holders, where they say that there are buy taxes and sell taxes and transfer taxes on some tokens. So let's say I'm buying 100 tokens from Uniswap. If there's a buy tax of 5%, then I will only get 95 tokens. So normally this is predefined, and it is communicated with the community saying that we have a 5% tax which goes into the marketing wallet or some other wallets, right? Or it gets burned as well. Sometimes that also happens. But what happens is that sometimes initially it is set at 5%, which the community is okay with. And now you have backers and holders, and people are shilling your token on Twitter, and suddenly a lot of people are buying in. And suddenly they raise the taxes to 100%. So if you put a sell tax of 100%, or if you put a transfer tax of 100%, what happens is you sell 100 coins, you get nothing back, which again makes it into a scam coin, right? So yeah, these are all different very creative mechanisms through which people have come up to scam people in the ecosystem. So we are here to protect people and to let people be informed that, hey, these are the possibilities and please be aware of these things.
Right. Okay.
So there is then anti-whale measures. Sometimes there are anti-whale measures inside tokens. Again, we are not saying this is bad or good, but if it's modifiable, it's a problem, to be honest. For example, an anti-whale measure would be when a user says, when the token has a function which determines what is the maximum number of coins somebody can hold in their wallet.
Okay.
Or what is the maximum that can be transferred in one transaction. So if this is set to 0, then you'll no longer be able to transfer anything. Right. Which means the token becomes a scam. Now, again, sometimes you require some anti-whale measures, but if it's modifiable, your users should know about it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Then we have whitelisting, where let's say the token has been paused, right? Like the token transfer has been paused currently, and only certain people are allowed to transfer. So for example, if the tax rates are 100% for most everybody, the whitelisted people will still have no taxes. So they will be able to sell. The rest of the people are not allowed to sell, right? Such cases could happen as well. So whitelisting will happen to the creator's address, the owner's address, and the friends of the owners, or whoever is in on the scam.
Right. Right.
Then external contract interaction. This is also something we check for, which means sometimes your token might be interacting with another smart contract. Now, it is not a bad thing to do. Again, sometimes you require some functionalities or you need to check something on some other application, and only then you can decide on XYZ functionalities inside your token. But what happens is this other contract might not necessarily be open source. So there's no way you know what is inside that contract, and maybe that contract has hidden owner functionalities present, or they have a special functionality inside that which allows the user to mint more tokens. Sorry, the admin to mint more tokens. So these kind of things could happen. So which is why we flag that.
Okay.
Explanation of why we are doing this is also attached with this.
Right.
Like, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Why is it a good thing? Why is it a bad thing? So that people can understand.
Right.
Because not always are they going to watch a video about it, right? Yeah. So then next thing is a proxy contract. A lot of application has to use a proxy contract for upgrading their contracts. Timely upgrades, if they require some new functionality to be added, they use a proxy contract. That is the one of the standard mechanisms in which, out of a few standards, but that is one of the standard mechanisms in which people upgrade their contract so that it can have more functionalities and whatnot. But what could happen is the new upgraded contract might not have the earlier agreed upon terms. For example, maybe in the earlier contract, the token transfer might not have been possible. But now in the new contract, token transfer is possible.
Correct.
So suddenly, the admin has some additional permissions, right? Which could turn the token into a scam.
So I just have one
Sure.
question here. So it is possible that a scam coin could launch as a legitimate coin when it comes to all these parameters, but because it is a scam coin, there is no community or governance or anything of that sort. The developers can actually go back again and modify some of these things. So I'm just thinking hypothetically, there could be a situation where if I check the scam coin today, it would all appear green and nice. But down the line, when the scammers do decide to rug pull, they might go in and modify some of the code. And in that sense, if I would have checked it then it might have raised some red flags there. So that is a little crack that that is that is possible, in the sense that
Yes.
it is still, of course, nothing is foolproof. The idea here is to understand the mechanics of the scam coins and to become more knowledgeable in how and what they do. So
Yes.
and anyways, these guys are one step ahead of you guys are all the time.
That is also true. That is also true. So the thing is, you can only warn the users, right? You cannot tell the user that this will not. We can tell the user whether this is a scam coin today.
Right.
Whether it will be a scam coin tomorrow will depend on certain factors. See,
Correct.
if all of these things are green here, right? All the items, right? Even if everything is green, there are market-based conditions in which somebody could do a rug pull. So that is a different set of problems altogether, which is why we have a certain market checks that we try to apply. So all these are only indicators,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So it cannot be like this is a, if it is scam coin today, we can tell you. But whether the developers are going to rug you a year later, that is
Yeah.
not fully determinable using an algorithm.
Correct. It is not.
You have
And I
to
think
use your own, you have to apply your own mind to it as well for you to calculate, okay, what is the risk associated with this token.
correct.
So we are trying to tell the user this is a risky token. We are not trying to tell the user
This is
that
yeah.
tomorrow there is going to be a scam.
Yes. That is an important point to keep in mind when using any tool, not just QuillCheck.
Yes. That is true. So if we state that this is not a honeypot,
Mhm.
It just means that it is not a scam right now, today.
Correct.
But tomorrow, can it be? Sure, there are certain factors. Now,
Correct.
for example, let's come to the market checks here, which will give a little more idea why we put the market checks as well into the whole thing. So you can see that number of holders, which show these are all aspects which shows the quality of a token, right?
Correct.
If owner has only few holding, very little holding, it means that they have looking at a long-term project. But if the owner has around 50, 60, 70% of the tokens,
Very important point. Yeah.
yeah, they can always dump their tokens into the market and take away all the money.
Correct.
So we are trying to show our users that, okay, these are also all things that you should keep in mind, not just the code-based checks. Please come and look at the market checks also here. What is the holder ratio of the top 3 holders, top 10 holders? How
Exactly.
many of these are contracts, wallet? Before you put your money into things, you need to look into all of these, right?
Right.
This is the most user-friendly mechanism in which we could give you an idea about, give you an insight about what is happening to a token.
Hmm.
Now, similar to the holdings of holders and the owner's holdings, the creator's holding is liquidity. This is what is more important according to me, right? So
Right.
when you're looking at liquidity, does a token have enough liquidity, right? Maybe your market cap is $100 billion because uh, your token is priced at a very high price. But is there enough liquidity in the market for you to get that, to ever liquidate that token, right?
Correct.
So that is something that's very important. If the liquidity is close to zero, we are immediately giving that token a honeypot, a scam status here.
Correct. Just to
In
clarify, in very simple terms, liquidity means that if you're buying something, would you be able to sell it or not in the market? So that is what it
Yes.
basically means. Yeah.
Yeah. So currently we are tracking key exchanges on all these chains. For example, Uniswap V2 on Ethereum, PancakeSwap V2 on BSC, and the QuickSwap V2 on Polygon. We are adding support to more DEXs.
Right.
And in case anybody watching this is part of a DEX, we are welcome to onboard you guys as well. We'll start tracking your information as well. Reach out to us on our Telegram channel or on my email. So that is also always possible. Then we show the number of LP holders, right? So this gets a high star rating. It's a great to have because it has 2,785 LP holders, liquidity providers, right? Now, what happens if there is only one LP holder, which holds 90% of the or 100% of the liquidity, right?
Correct.
This is when more often than otherwise a rug pull happens. One
Correct.
person holds the liquidity, they pull the liquidity out. Now there is no, this liquidity number will go to zero.
Correct. Right.
And when it's to zero, you no longer can trade that token.
Correct. Correct. I would love to
So
see a scam coin once you're done explaining the
yes,
different
yes,
parts so
yes,
that we
yes,
get a contrast.
yes, yes, yes. So these are all the information that is available on what are the major token pairs, what is the balances of inside each of these pairs.
So a lot of
Right?
details.
This is
Yeah.
all information from Uniswap V2.
Right.
Right. Now let's look at the scam coin here.
Yeah. So
We have a
basically,
dedicated
if I have to,
section.
yeah, before you go to another coin, if I have to summarize, the most important thing that you have to check as a user is whether the is a honeypot is actually if the coin is a honeypot or not. So if it is a honeypot, then there is a risk
Run.
that it's a scam coin. Essentially, that is what
Yes.
in a nutshell it is.
Yes. Now rest everything, you can find out whether this token has a weird permission, which might make it a scam coin. Here we can see that this is one. Let's pick this coin up. This is our honeypot detector. It gives you a quick overview. Some people just want to see, they're much more willing to take the risk. So they just want to see if this is already a scam or not.
Right. Okay.
So this section is for them, the honeypots token section. You can find if the token is already a scam. What have we done here? What is the buy tax, sell tax? They have a max wallet size, which I told you about earlier, which is an anti-whale measure. a quick look into all the things. And if you want to see a full report, you have an option here.
Right.
So here you can see that there were some permissions over here,
Holders can be blacklisted.
blacklisted, tax rate modifiable, and then one of the tax rate is at 100%,
Wow.
which is why we have it as a
Honeypot. Yeah.
scam coin. That's a honeypot token. And some additional info is available over here, which tells the user that, how is it whitelisted? So there could be different kind of whitelisting happening, right? So we are showing is excluded from fee, which means that there is some accounts which, is excluded from the above mentioned tax rates.
Right. This is lovely.
And yeah, so we can also see what is the tax. This is the maximum transaction amount that is present inside this token. So if you go to the market checks of this, you can see very few holders, 25% creator holding, which itself is a
red flag. Yeah, there you go.
red flag. There is only one LP holder, one trading pair. Total liquidity is only this much, and the creator has all the liquidity here.
There you go.
So stay away from tokens like this.
Perfect. Just a few questions while you were explaining. Now, of course, there's too much to view here. There's a lot of technical jargon and terms that are used that the common person may not understand. So is there like some kind of documentation that you have on your website that people can refer to?
So there is a FAQ section where we explain how are we doing this, or what is the significance of the checks that we are doing, right?
Okay.
So we have an exhaustive explainer section over here, right? Which is helpful to the users to tell them about how this is how we are performing this, how are we doing the risk rating systems.
Correct.
All the questions that they might have, it's answered here.
Correct. The second question is, how does one actually go ahead and find the token address? You just go to Google as you did for USDC, put the name of the coin and it'll show up. That's how that's how you.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if it's at least a known coin, this is one of the ways in which you do it. But otherwise, going inside Etherscan, you'll have to find out the token address.
Correct.
The problem why we can't just give you an option to give a name here, right? That would be the easiest option, right?
Right.
But the problem with that is it's stickers and names. Anybody can create any token with any name. The only real identifier is the token address.
Right.
So I could tomorrow create a USDT named scam coin. And if I type in USDT, and if a user comes here, types in USDT and sees that, or the original USDT's information, they might not think that, okay, this is a scam coin. They might end up buying into it.
Yeah.
So which is why we are requiring the users to come and put the token address themselves.
Correct. So step number one, go to the individual blockchain that the coin is deployed on. Most of the times these are on Binance, or which one is it? I mean, or it could be either one of these three actually.
We looked at the volumes. The reason why we picked these three for the first, when we started off, it was just ETH and BSC. Then we added Polygon later.
Right.
Just because most of the volumes were happening on ETH and BSC.
All right. So that's the first thing. Go to the individual block scanner or the the Etherscan for Ethernet. Search for the token or try to find the token address from other means if you could. If the token is listed on, say, market cap or any other, you can probably find there as well. So that would be an easier way if it's listed.
Yes. So inside coin market cap, on the bottom left over here, you will get the contract address.
Perfect. So you can copy it from there
and paste it here, and you could just run check.
Yes. And look out for the honeypot thing. That is the overall marker. That'll tell us whether it's a scam coin or not. And the last question I had was, Jose, Now, is there um, any way that a third-party application, like maybe another data analytics company or a software, can pull this information from QuillCheck into their app?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's not just for a data analytics company, right? Any DEX could integrate these risk scores. They
There you
could,
go. Exactly. Any
or maybe for a wallet, you might want to prevent any kind of scams from showing up on your interface itself.
correct
So we have an API which we
section. Yeah.
we yeah. So you can come to the API docs. You can find out how to get your API key, and you can just go ahead.
I just saw the
It's as
honeypots
simple as
option
that.
at the top. I'm sorry. So yeah, you can
Yes.
fill up all the information, get in touch with QuillCheck, and proceed that way. So the honeypot section, what is that about? Is that like a list of all the honeypots you found so far?
Yes, it is a list of all the honeypots that we found so far, which is
Perfect.
around 35K, close to 35K. And like I said earlier, some people don't mind the risk. There are degen traders who just want to make sure that it is not a scam right now.
Of course, of course. And there are
So
genuine projects also which may look like a scam, but because they are very new, liquidity is less, number of players is less, you might still want to buy that token. So yeah.
yeah.
All right. Perfect, Jose. I think this is a brilliant tool. You've certainly done the community great service. I hope more and more people come and try this out, and and basically get knowledgeable in the entire crypto space in return. And I think that is what is missing here in this space. So once again, thanks a lot, Jose. It was a brilliant session. Perhaps we could do some other follow-ups down the line. I would love to see more
Definitely.
chains, as you already alluded to initially, that you will probably add more chains as well. So once again,
Yeah.
Joe, thanks a lot. And I'll put all the information in the description of the video. So what is the best way to reach out to Quill audits if I'm a common person? Would it be X or Telegram? You have
Telegram.
Telegram.
Telegram is the best place to reach out. Yes.
Correct. I'll put all that information in the video. So do reach out to them to check out this app. I think it's wonderful. So I think we should everybody should start using these tools because they're free and open. Well, not open in the source way, but open for everybody to use. But well, finally, thanks again, Jose. And
Yes. And thank you for having me, Manish.
all right,
It was great to talk to you.
perfect. Thanks a lot. Take care.